Your journey can only begin when the self-doubts stop. The first step is harnessing your bravery within. Believing in you is your host, Sean Williams.
Hello and good day to you all. My name is Sean, and I'd like to thank you very much for tuning in to another Hodge episode of Bravery Within. Today's going to be an episode they're basically designed to help protect your good energy, your good vibes, protect who you are. It's amazing how, as we're going through life, when people can always come into our lives, they always leave with our lives. And one thing that I always like to try to learn a little bit is there's a reason why they came into your life. It's not always going to be a good reason. It's taken me years to figure that one out. Like I said, I'm a work in progress, and sometimes a little slow on catching things, but I'm getting a little bit better. But there's always a reason that people come into your life, and today is going to be all about that one there. We're going to deal more with the negative side of people coming into your life, and hopefully some things that I have learned will help you a little bit. That's what I hope for all these series to do and stuff. And speaking of series, just so you know, as you listen to this one here, I've actually started a third series, all under the Bravery Within header and stuff. And I'm thinking it's going to be pretty cool. The first episode's been well received. It's all about us introverts and trying to protect who we are, trying to help some folks understand who you are, why you do certain things. It's episodes that are all designed around being an introvert. We hear a lot about extroverts and stuff there because they like the attention, they like the limelight, and that's fantastic. They can have it. I am nowhere near interested in being in the limelight. I don't like the attention put on me. That's why I do podcasts, so you can't see me. I don't do the video part of it and stuff. But these new episodes and stuff there in the series and stuff there are going to be all focused around trying to help us introverts out. Another thing that we've done, we've made another change to the podcast and stuff there. If you go onto YouTube and you can actually watch videos as they roll across the podcast now. The YouTube channel seems to be picking up speed, and it's taken me a little bit of time to figure out how to get, how do I want these to go. I wanted to make sure that there were some folks that were listening. You guys have been wonderful in letting me know that, yes, I am helping, that you're enjoying the podcast. I can't thank you enough. So I went in further and ended up buying a program so that way I can put pictures on. So when you're listening from here on out, when you're listening to the episodes, there actually is going to be information that is now going to scroll across the screen instead of just having a black screen. It's an expensive program, so I had to make sure that this was going to go, and I had enough material to keep going to keep you guys happy. And here we are up to a third series now already, and we haven't even hit the 3-month mark yet, but we're growing. We're over, we've got over 700 downloads and views so far already just for the episodes that are out there. So that's why I thought it would be good to have something on the screen so you have something to watch while you're listening to the podcast. So hopefully that's something that you enjoy. But back to today's Hodgepodge episode, which is episode 12, and it is called Only Allowing Certain People into Your Life. This, I'll be honest, being that I want to help everybody and I want to be there for everybody, I struggle with this one. I'm not going to lie about, basically keeping bad people out of my life. Just basically anybody that they want to drain your good energy, your good vibes. They basically feed on your energy, which to me I call them energy vampires, and that's pretty much what, if you're into that science and you believe about the spirits and other side, energy vampires, they're when you break it down, they're really narcissists. And I've grown up with enough of them. I've been mentally damaged by enough of them. It's just, they're tough to be around. And being that I'm gaining in years now, I'm starting to learn how to keep them out of my life. And basically because I don't need them. I mean, like I've said before, I realize that there is more time behind me than there is ahead of me anymore. I'm getting older, and it's a harsh reality to you basically see that and understand that. So I just learned that I'm just very, very careful with the people that I allow into my life. I'm just real careful with who I allow into my circle and who I allow into my home anymore. So that's why I thought today would be a great episode to talk about this there, to try to help you out there and stuff there, because you're my extended family. I care about you guys, and I want to make sure that I try to give you all the ammunition. I try to give you all the help that I can from the ups and downs that I've learned. So, and I know this isn't going to be an easy subject there for some folks there, because I don't like hurting people's feelings in any way, shape, or form. I want to try to make everybody smile and build them up and help them. But there are just some out there that just absolutely will take full advantage of that. And then when they're done draining you of your life and your energy, they throw you off to the side, and then they'll go find somebody else. So it's taken me a lot of years to learn that. And now that I have learned that, I'm just real careful with who I allow into my life. And I have learned to see through that facade that they put on. And unfortunately, it takes time. I mean, it takes years. And unfortunately, you have to get burned about 1,600 times before you start realizing, okay, this is how they approach. And they've always got a smile on their face, and they're always welcoming, and they're always warm. But as soon as they start realizing that they can control and manipulate you in some way, shape, or form, then they just start feeding onto your energy. And so I've just learned just to be really, really careful not to have those kind of folks in my life. And I just try to keep people that are very positive, ones that support me, ones that are upbeat. And remember, not everybody can be that way 100% of the time. Nobody can. That's just the way it is. But if you surround yourself with good folks, and folks that are going to be there for you, and they're not fair weather friends, meaning they're only good there in the good times, and then when you need them in the bad times, they're just gone. I've had my fair share of friends like that, and we're no longer friends. I just don't want them around me anymore. And I just feel that if you can't put the time in to help me in my down times and my worst times, you're not going to be there for the up times and the good times. You don't deserve that. You haven't earned that spat. You haven't earned that honor to be by my side all the time. So I'm really, really careful with that stuff. And I know it seems harsh, and you're probably already sitting out there thinking, geez, Sean, you're kind of a jerk. And that's fine if that's the way you want to think of me. I can't change the way you think of me. But what I have learned is I have to protect, the good things in my life. I have to protect my family, my friends, and this is just one way of doing it. So that way, when we get together and we play cards, or we go out for supper, or we just sit in the living room and we just talk and just basically poke fun at each other, or laugh and joke, or whatever it is and stuff there. Those are the people that I want around, and those I know are not my fair weather friends. And those are the ones that I'll bend over backwards to help them. So I don't have any narcissists in my life anymore. I've made sure that they're just not around. And if they try to enter, I just don't give them the time or day. But something that I learned the hard way, unfortunately, with this one here is those people there, they'll come into your life there, but I've worked very, very hard to keep them out. And I figure that if you want to put the time in, sometimes it takes months or years before I'll, actually open up to you and trust you with who I am, or trust you in my home, or anything like that there. I don't just automatically just let somebody into my life anymore, because that's how you find out, and you see the dark people and the narcissists and everything else. So I do everything I can to try to protect myself and my family from that, because they will drain you. And I'm not trying to pick on them or anything, because they know what they're doing, unfortunately, and I just know too many people that way, and I know it's kind of harsh, and I apologize for that, because I try to find episodes where I build everything up. But I'm looking at it as I'm giving you the information, I'm giving you the tools to try to protect yourself and keep your life drama free for the most part. Some people like drama, that's okay, you go right on ahead. It's just there's no place for me having that kind of drama. I just, being in management, that's the last thing that you always wanted was drama, because it always worked up problems, and when you have problems, then it comes back to the manager to fix it. So I just learned a long time ago to try to keep it out of my life as much as possible. And being an introvert on top of it all, we're very protective of who we talk to anyway, who we open up to, who we allow into our lives. So this kind of goes all hand in hand. And I kind of tossed it around the idea, because I came up with these notes and everything else here actually before I started the new series. Otherwise, I probably would have put this in my introvert one. But I thought it was a good hodgepodge one here for you guys to talk about, because everybody, is enjoying listening to them. So just one thing all I can say is just be really, really careful with who you let into your life. It's not that I don't want you helping people. It's not that, I want you to, shut down and live under a rock or anything like that there. But I have found so many times there, by keeping the negativity out of my life, it allows me to see better things. It allows me to grow as a person. I can help other people. I enjoy my life so much more. And that goes hand in hand with just keeping all that negativity out. But one thing that I learned, and I learned this here probably about 5 years ago, and it's an introvert thing. And I didn't understand at first when I was doing research on, what is an extrovert, what is an introvert. There's 4 different kinds of introverts. They're all broke down. You got your thinkers and there's so many of them there, and that's all stuff that we'll cover in that other series. But one thing that I learned, and I didn't understand it, and I did it, but I didn't understand why I did it, is door slamming somebody. And that doesn't mean as they're walking through the door, you take the door and slam it as hard as you absolutely can. It's not what it means. What it means is when, especially as an introvert, we try to help people as much as we can. We get walked on so much, we get taken advantage of, all of that stuff constantly. But even for us that want to be there for everybody and do everything that we can, even we finally hit our limits and say, you know what, I can't do this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. I deserve better. I need to protect my good energy, my good vibes. So you end up, it's called door slamming somebody. And when you do that, think of it as basically you are slamming a door, metaphorically speaking. You're shutting somebody out of your life is in your mind, and your life is exactly what you're doing. You're not actually taking a big old storm door and wham, smack them in the face. Although you probably thought about it, and I got to be honest, there's a couple people I wouldn't mind doing that too. But then it'd probably dent my door, and then I'd have to fix it. So wouldn't go over well. But a door slam just basically means you have now locked them out of your life, and you're done, because they've basically given you all the information that you need. They have pushed you to your limits, and sometimes they've pushed you past your limits, and you keep hoping that you can either fix them or help them or be there for them or turn them around or something there, and you just get to a point that it's just like, you know what, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. I have to. It's self-preservation at that point. So that's what you end up doing, is you end up door slamming somebody, and you're just done. You walk away. Introverts are very, very good at doing that, and I had done it a few times. I just didn't know there was actually a technical term for it. I didn't know there was actually something that that actually happens, because there was times where I sometimes I spend years trying to help people, trying to be there for them. I have lost thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars trying to help people. I have lost, so many, there's been so many sleepless nights there. I've given stuff literally out of my house to try to make their world a little bit better. There's been so many things that I've tried to do, and in the end, all they do is take advantage of you. And once you finally say, you know what, I'm done, and you door slam that person out of your life finally, then you're the enemy, you're the hated one. And it's like, whoa, wait a minute here. You're the one that gave me the key there to door slam you. I kept trying to get through to you. I kept trying to help you. I was there for you when you called, when you texted, when you emailed. Whatever the reason was, I was always there for you. I was the first one you come running to when, you broke up with somebody, or the job didn't go right, or, whatever the reason was, that it was an emergency at the time, I was always there for you. But you get to a point to where, okay, that's fine. But when I needed you, you weren't there. When I needed to talk to somebody, you weren't there. You always had an excuse. Oh, I'm doing this, or I'm doing that, or I'm going here, or I'm going there. That all comes back to being a narcissist. And they're only thinking of themselves. That's really what it comes down to when folks like us here, we're doing everything we can to try to help other people, to try to build them up. That's the whole reason that I do these podcasts, is I want to try to give folks information about stuff, because I went down this road. It's not like I'm just Googling something and just saying, oh, well, this sounds pretty good, put it on some paper, and oh, wow, I'll make a podcast. Everything that I talk about, I have been down that road. I have tried. I have been beaten up. I've been kicked when I'm down. All of this stuff. And I just want to make sure that this is just, I'm trying to help you guys out. That's what I'm doing. I'm not trying to do a negative episode here in any way, shape, or form. But being the way that we are, you have to protect your good energy. You have to protect your good vibes. And I know there's people out there going, you know what, you keep saying that, I don't understand what you mean. Your good energy is what helps us, that's what, so when you go out and volunteer, or when you help a neighbor, or you help a family member out, whatever it is, that's the good energy that what you're doing is you're giving them some and you're helping them. That's what you want to do. That's what makes this world go round. It's not being self-centered, keeping everything locked up and not helping people. All that does, it's going to end our world so much faster. People have to learn that to make this world go around, we have to help each other. We got to be there for each other. And when we're there for somebody, anytime I do something, just to be very, very clear here, whenever I help somebody, I don't do it for a thank you. I don't keep tabs of, okay, well, I've helped you 4 times, so you need to help me 4 times. I don't keep score. That doesn't happen. If I'm helping you, it's because I want to help you. It's because I want to be there for you. I hate to see you struggle, and it breaks my heart to see you struggling. So I do everything I can to try to make things better for you if I can. But there are limits to how much I can help and how much I will help. I've literally put myself right into the poorhouse helping people, if that's what it takes. I've literally given them the shirt off my back. You name it. I mean, I've been there. But I've gotten to a point to where, yes, I still want to help people, but now I have to be a little bit more selective. But I also understand that, if I see somebody broke down along the side of the road, there's been times I've stopped and helped them. Now, I know that's something that you can't do like in the big cities and stuff. I understand that, and that's why they got AAA and everything there. I mean, you have to be really, really careful with how you help people, but we have to keep trying to help people and keep moving forward, because that's what makes the world turn. That way, that if you do run into trouble, then you know that, oh wow, okay, somebody's going to be there. It's huge, and and I come from a small town. I was born in a very, very small town, and everybody there, you didn't lock your doors. You didn't basically worry about anything. The keys were always left in the vehicles. If somebody was broke down, you didn't even think about it. You stopped and helped them, and to do whatever it took to get them on their way. And I know you can't do all that stuff there in the bigger cities, and I know crime is on the rise, and because people are taking from each other because they don't have much, or the stress of the economy, or whatever the reason is. But we still have to try to help each other, try to keep things moving forward. I've helped my fair share of people, and I don't regret. I mean, please don't think that. I mean, I do not regret a moment helping anybody out. But after a while, you just get to a point, and it's like, okay, I can't do this anymore with you. I've asked, for a little bit of help, and it's not reciprocated. So you end up just, unfortunately, cutting ties and door slamming somebody. So really, the sad part is, when you do that, it's like breaking up with somebody. I mean, you're ending a friendship or a relationship. Now, you don't always have to go to that extreme and just completely door slam somebody out of your life. You can try a different route, and maybe instead of completely, cutting them out of your life, maybe just put some room between you and them. Maybe instead of seeing them once a week or once every couple weeks, what you do at that point there is maybe you only see them once every 6 months, or you see them once or twice a year at the extreme most. You find a way to put space between you and them, because you still want them in your life, and you don't want to completely out, and you want to be there and help them. But you know that if you continue down this road, you feel your energy being drawn out of you. You're always tired. No matter what it is, you look down at the phone and you see they're calling, you go, ugh. Okay, what are they calling for now? When you get to that point, you know that you've reached your limits, and I've been there so many times, and it breaks my heart when I get to that point, because it feels like I failed, and I know I didn't fail, but the problem is because I want to help so many people, and I want to be there for so many people and every person that I can, that I literally feel like a failure myself. It's like, okay, could I have done something else? Did I fall short in this? Did I say something wrong? Did I do something wrong? What's the reason why I had to door slam them out of my life? And it takes time, and after I door slam somebody, I hurt. It really, really does hurt. It breaks my heart that I had to do that. I had to cut somebody out of my life. But I also know that by, everything that I have gone through in my life, I've also learned that there are limits to how much that I can and can't do. And there are just times that I don't just door slam somebody on the first time when they come over and, they wrong me or whatever it is, or take something from me. I don't immediately door slam them out of my life. That's not what I do it for. I do it as self-preservation, but the problem is I have to, get kicked around quite a bit before I get to that point. So when I finally get to that point and I door slam them, they have to know, which most of the time they don't understand why. They have to understand that you've given me the key to lock that door because you have hurt me so many times and you've taken me down this road and you've gotten my hopes up and you weren't there when I needed you or any time. The only time you come around is when you needed something. And it's like, okay, wait a minute. Okay, I can't do this anymore. It's self-preservation at this point. I need to take care of myself. And I was so worried for so many years that I was being self-centered and egotistical, and I was becoming a narcissist myself by door slamming somebody, and nothing can be further from the truth. It took me years to figure that out. That it's self-preservation at this point. And so I just got to a point where, honestly, I've probably only door slammed probably half a dozen people out of my life, my entire life. I don't do it. I don't make a habit of it because, like I said, I want to be there to help people. But there's a point to where you have to understand, too, that it's not going to go anywhere. I've seen it many times in relationships where one person will try to fix the other person. It's not always the woman trying to fix the man. Sometimes it's the man trying to fix the woman. And in my case, I've always was trying to fix, trying to help, trying to be there. And everybody just took advantage of me. And I got so sick and tired of it that I just locked everybody out. I got to a point to where, basically I built a castle around me, and I put moats, and I put up, pits that you fall into, and anything there to try to protect myself, because I was so tired of getting hurt, taken advantage of, and used that I didn't know how else to process this and to protect myself. Because when I let somebody into my house or I let somebody into my life, at that point, basically I'm doubling down and going all in. And it's like, okay, I think this is going to be either a friendship or a relationship that's going to work. And I'm doubling down. Okay, I'm going to make this work. I put everything, I put my heart, my soul, everything into when I get to that relationship. And like I said, it can be just a friendship. It could be a deep friendship. It could be, a sexual friendship. It could be marriage. Whatever it is, I just, when I decide that person is worth me dedicating my time into a relationship, then I go all in. Because remember, like I've told you before, I don't have as much time in front of me as I do behind me. So what I have to do now is I have to be more selective on who I allow into my life and who do I want to spend time with. Because everybody thinks that money is probably the most important thing on the face of the planet. And one thing that I learned, it was kind of like I was sitting on the deck one day watching the birds chirp and eat and fly around and everything else, and I got to realizing money is not the most precious commodity that we have available to us. And I got to sitting there thinking, really, the most precious, in my book, and you may not see it this way, but I see it this way, the most precious commodity that we can give anybody else is our time. There is no way, with money, you can work overtime. You can pick up a second job. You can pick up a third job. You can get lucky and go to school and make the big bucks. You can always make more money. Time is finite. There is no more. We get no more on this earth. We have no idea when we're going to be called home. There's nothing else that you can do about it. You can't beg, borrow, or steal with Father Time or God to get more time on this earth. Whatever has been allocated, that's all you get, and that there's nothing you can do about it. So as I was sitting there and I was realizing, you know what? If I'm going to invest time into a relationship or a friendship or anything like that, I want to make sure that they're worth my time. Because, like I said, if I want to spend time with you, I don't think there's anything more precious that I can do or give you than my own time, because I don't have any more to give. Really, I could finish recording doing this podcast and then get wiped off the face of the earth by some meteor that comes through the roof in my house here and be done, and my time is over. So I figure, and I'm not trying to make this sound as, the world revolves around me, because it does not. I understand it's a big globe out there, and there's 8 million or 8 billion people or something crazy like that anymore. I mean, we have so many people out there, but there's only so many hours in the day. There's only so much time that we have been allocated in our lives. Now, granted, some people are lucky, get to live to 80, 90, 100. Those are the lucky ones. I'll be lucky if I see 70, I'm sure, with all the medical problems I've had and the surgeries and everything else that goes right along with it. I'll probably be lucky to see 70. Now, granted, that's a lot of years yet, but I honestly don't know how much longer I have. So I want to try to make the most of the time that I have here on earth, that I was granted for being here, being amongst my family, my friends. And I'm not saying that I'm better than anyone else. Please don't take that away from what I'm trying to say here. What I'm trying to say is, like I said, there is only so much time. If you knew, let's just say in 1 week, you were going to pass on. You had 1 week left on this wonderful earth. And what are you going to do with that time? People have asked that question for, are you going to forgive your enemies? Are you going to forgive, other friends that have wronged you? Are you going to just go out and be wild and crazy and live at the bar for the next week? Are you going to take a trip you never could? You would reprioritize everything in your life if you knew you only had a week left. So that is no different than what we're talking about today, about keeping all the negativity out of your life. Because if you don't do that, they're going to drag you down. You're going to dread your life. You're going to hate it. And you're going to just wish that you could just die. And there's no reason for that in any way, shape, or form. We're so blessed about having a life, and we get to share it. Now, granted, our species, we need some help. There's no arguments there and stuff there. We've got some bad people in the world, unfortunately. But what I try to do is I try to focus on the good people so we can help each other out. That way, when they know that if they need to call me or text me, they know I'm going to be there. And for me, I text everybody because I just really hate talking on the phone. It's something I don't really enjoy anymore. So I know that when somebody calls me, something's wrong. Something is really up, because we text all the time. So they know that if they were to call, they know they're going to get me. They know they're going to get the help that they need. And if there's any way, shape, or form that I can do that, I'm going to be there in a hot second to help them out. So those are the people that I want to be with. I want to keep in my life. I want them around. But it's hard to find those folks through all the negative folks that are out there and the narcissists. It breaks my heart that you have to work so hard to try to find some good people. Now, granted, I know way more good people than there are bad people on this earth. And I know that, but the problem is with, if you go try to help somebody, the first thing they want to do is sue you for helping them because you hurt them or you damaged their vehicle or something crazy. It was like, you know what, you were on the brink of death and yet you go and sue me for helping you? I don't understand that. That throws me for a loop. Helping each other out and being there for our, not just our race, but for the furry animals that we have here. The other, basically anything in nature, we need to be there for them and help them out because they're there for us. We need the trees, we need the grass, we need all that stuff. And if we don't start helping each other out and giving back instead of just take, unfortunately, our world isn't going to make it. We're not going to make it as a species. But it's so hard to find people that you can trust and allow into your life. And that's something that I have worked all my life to try to figure out, okay, how do I do this? Is there a formula that I can figure out here and mathematically figure this out? And I say, okay, well, you don't meet this number, so we're not going to be friends. I don't think there's anything like that works that way, but it sure be nice to, hey, you met the qualifications. We can be friends. Sounds kind of crazy, I know, and blah, 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 I understand. But all I can say is you do everything you can to try to protect your good energy, your good vibes. I I don't know how else really to say it. I don't want this whole episode to come across as something negative, because it's not. Us introverts and stuff, and even the extroverts, I'm sure they have a hard time finding people, just because they're full of energy, full of life. They're they want to be in the center, they want to be in the spotlight, they want to be up on the stage. That's fantastic. We need you around. I'm not arguing that point. We need you in our lives, because I'll admit, once in a while I have a couple extrovert friends, and it takes them to come over and say, Sean, you need to get off the couch and get going, and they pull me off the couch and we go do something. So we need them in our lives. There's no doubt about it. It's yin and yang. They help us, but it's the narcissists that just take advantage of you, use you up, and throw you away like you're a piece of trash. Those are the people that we don't really need in our life. But if you're trying to figure out, and narcissist, you have to be careful, because that word has been thrown around a lot, and it's actually, a medical term and stuff there, and it's actually an actual recognized mental health condition, which kind of shocked me. I got to be a little bit when I was doing a little research on this, but it actually is, and unfortunately, it affects mostly males, which is unfortunate. But with working with the males of our species and stuff there, and letting them know that the world doesn't revolve around you, it can make things better. But it's very, very tough to do, and I don't want to go down too far down that road, because you can get real dark and real negative real fast, and I don't want to go down that road. All I'm trying to do is help my family out by saying, only allow certain people into your life, which is actually a lot harder than you think, because if you're like me, and there's no doubt that you're like me, and you're out there and you want to help everybody, the first thing is you jump into the deep end of the pool to help them out, and if they're drowning, you jump in, pull them up, and put them up on the edge of the pool or wherever they're at and stuff there, and help them so they can basically get regrounded and take off again. It's very easy to go down that road, and then they realize, oh wow, they helped me, so I'm going to take advantage of it. And it's heartbreaking, because it's like, okay, I finally found somebody I can help, but yet they take advantage of me. So that's then you go down and you talk to them, you try to help out or whatever it is stuff, then you end up door slamming them, and then they're not in your life anymore, and it's kind of like, okay, what did I do all that for? Just know that you did everything possible, and pat yourself on the back for that. Give yourself credit. That's amazing to be able to try to help somebody. Not everybody wants help. Not everybody can be helped, because one thing that I've also learned too is if folks don't want to be helped, and they don't want to change, there's nothing you can do to help or change them. It's heartbreaking. I couldn't tell you how many times there is like, you're going down the wrong road, let me try to help you a little bit. Just accept a little bit of help in your life. And they don't. They just continue on the way they do things and what they want to do. And I've learned I can't change them, and I don't even try anymore, because it's like, okay, I understand. I've spent 2 years, being there for you. We've, sat on the deck and we've had a Mountain Dew together, or we've had a, grilled steak or something along those lines. And I just learned that things are not getting any better, and all you expect is more and more out of me. So at that point, I just realized that, okay, well, this isn't going to work. So then I just start backing off, and I just don't hang around them anymore. If they back me into a corner and ask what's going on, then I'll tell them. I mean, if you ask me, I'm going to tell you. But I try to be gentle about it, because they may come around. They may talk. I mean, I've yet to have one come around, just because they're only worried about their egos. They don't have any empathy. That's where I think as a human, I think we excel by having empathy, being able to see something from another person's point of view. That is huge, and they lack empathy, but where we have empathy and excess. So what they do is they feed off of that, and that's what sustains them. And once you stop doing that and stop giving, then they find somebody else, and they head down that road. So they need attention constantly, That's one thing that I've learned there is, when when I've had them in my life, that it's like they blow up my phone. They're constantly texting, this happened or that happened, or can you do this or can you do that, or there's so many other things, and their need for attention can be just so overwhelming because, like introverts, we don't need attention. We don't want attention for the most part. We want to just stick to ourselves and just do our own thing. But it's tough to try to figure out, okay, where do I draw that line? It's like, where do I cut ties? Where do I end this? And honestly, I don't really have a great answer for you. The only thing I can say is if you're feeling drained constantly anymore and you look at your phone and you just kind of groan when you see their number pop up and things, that to me is a telltale sign of, okay, well, we need to put some space between us. And I've never flat out ever just door slammed somebody just right out of the shotgun. I've never done that. I always try to learn about them. I try to get to know them. I give them the benefit of the doubt all the time, and sometimes it works out. Sometimes I've gotten some good friends out of it there. Sometimes your preconceptions of somebody are so way off center that it's like, oh my goodness, I'm glad I took the time to get to know you and see who you are and what makes you up and why you do the things that you do. So it's probably the soonest I've ever door slammed somebody is probably 3 or 4 years into a friendship. Relationship wise and stuff there, I don't typically, I always want to be there for them, and I always look at it as, okay, if we were in a relationship, I look at it as, okay, there was errors on both sides. It's never just one side. It is never that way. Now, one side could be heavier on errors than what the other side is, but there's always both, you oops somewhere. That's just the way it is. There's nothing else that you could do about it. That's just the way the relationship ended up. Attention-wise stuff, if their attention gets to be too much, then I start backing off, because it's kind of like, okay, I'm an introvert, guys. You got to back off. I need time to recharge and heal myself, because they don't understand that there are boundaries that they need to respect. They basically will get in your face. They'll take up all your time. They'll get into your life. They don't understand that there's boundaries that need to be respected, and it's really, really hard to enforce those boundaries after a while, because as soon as you start saying, okay, well, we can't do this, or we don't need to spend so much time together, or whatever, then they start thinking, well, why are you being so mean to me? They'll immediately flip the blame right onto you instead of themselves, instead of looking in the mirror and say, okay, am I doing something wrong? Can we work this out? Can we figure this out? They never do that. It's always about, well, what did you do wrong? Why are you pushing me out of your life? Why did you make that decision? Why can't we hang together? Why? And it's always pushed back on you. And once I get to that point, that's when I say, you know what, we're done, and I door slam you, and I'm finished. You've taken advantage of me long enough. I just can't do this anymore. And I try not to do it because it breaks my heart, and I'm sad for days afterwards, because it's like, I know it's for my health, and I know it was all to protect me and protect my good vibes and my good energy and who I am. It's self-preservation, but it still breaks my heart. I still feel like I failed. It's like, what am I missing? Did I miss any cues? Did I not see something? Did I not try hard enough? Did I say something wrong? There's the what ifs kick in at that point for somebody like me, and it's just like I start spiraling downhill, and it's all downhill from there until I finally can figure out, okay, it wasn't all my fault. I can't put all this on my shoulders. I have to move on. And sometimes I've moved on quicker than other times, and there's still some things that I regret in my life that I wish that would have worked out. There's relationships that are out there with people that I really wanted to work out. I wanted to be by their side for the rest of their life and try to help them. And I wanted some people to be a permanent part of my life, as in marriage. I mean, I never thought I'd get married again, which I never will. But at the time, I thought, okay, well, I got out of a marriage, and maybe I'm ready. After a couple, 3 years, I started to think a little bit. Maybe I need to find that person. Maybe that's what I'm missing. But I've never went down that road. I mean, I just kind of left well enough alone, and just kind of, some things in the past are meant to stay in the past. That's one, something else that I've learned. It's not the easiest thing on the face of the earth, but it's in the past for a reason. You have to look ahead. It's the future. You can change the future. You can kind of manipulate it to your advantage. Not always, but at least you can stack the odds in your favor a little bit more. In the past is the past. It's written. It's done. You can't change it. You can't go back. And there's no sense living in the past. Although there's a lot of good memories, or like if you lost somebody, those are good memories to hang on to. But you still have to move forward. The earth still continues to turn. Businesses continue to move forward. Crops continue to grow. Trees continue to grow. It hurts, but life continues to move forward in one direction. So just figuring out how best to live your life. And like I said, I didn't want this to be, a negative episode in any way, shape, or form. All I'm doing is basically trying to help you and give you some tools and some information about trying to keep some of the negativity out of your life, because it is so easy in this world here, because there is so much violence, there's so much hurt, there's so much bad things that are going on. It's so easy to get stuck in that rut and just see everything in darkness, and that's the last thing that you want to do, because you're only given one life on this earth, and you don't want to waste it all, being locked up under a rock or living in a cave, or feeling bad or scared all the time. There's still plenty of good people out there. Just know that there's so many good people out there. They've got such big hearts, and they're there for everybody, and they help. And I have an amazing neighbor where he always takes and I never asked him to, but he'll always roll up our trash can on trash day, and he rolls it up by the house so it doesn't blow away. I never asked him to do it, but he's older generation. He's a very nice gentleman. He was in the military and stuff for, I think, 20 some years. It was incredible, and he's such a nice guy. And those are the people that we want to try to help out and try to protect, and try to be the person that you want to see in the world. That's what I try to do every single day. Am I perfect at it? Oh goodness, no. I try so very hard to be how I want to see the world to be. That's why I thought with these podcasts, maybe there's something in this information and things that I'm talking to you about, and the ups and downs that I have went through. Maybe there's something in there that you guys can utilize to help make your life a little bit better, or maybe you see something from a different angle now, or I don't know. I've had people get with me, and they get stuff out of my podcast, and I'm going, I didn't even get anywhere near close to talking about that, or I haven't even begun to talk about that. But there was something that I said in there that triggered a thought or a memory or something, and they thank me for it, and they thank me for talking to them, and then I said, well, no, thank you for listening. I mean, without you guys, this really wouldn't happen, because then if I wanted to do that, I could not talk into a microphone. I can talk to the wall, because it's about as much as what it would get done. But there are so many good people out there, and it's very, very easy to see all the bad people. It's easy to watch the news and stuff, and there's a lot of bad stuff that's going on out there, so you have to be really, really careful. So that's why I thought this episode would be a very, very good one to try to talk to you about, protecting your good energy, protecting your good vibes. Take the time. Don't let just every person that's into your life. Take the time to slowly get to know them. Like me, I don't put my whole life on social media and stuff there, because I don't want everybody to know, if I've had a bad day, or a good day, or if I went on vacation, or whatever it is. I figure, the people that are important in my life, they're going to know that information, because I'm going to talk to them, or I'll text them, or I'll send them pictures, or, just anything like that. So I try to stay away from the social platforms as much as I can with that one there. The only thing that I do a lot about it is about my podcast, just to try to let more folks know this is here, and I hope there's some information. I hope there's something in these podcasts that will help them on down the road. That's all basically that I can do. But all I can say, I guess, is if you're going to take away anything from this podcast today, is maybe do like what I do. I keep the circle of the people that I trust and love extremely small. I keep the people that I allow into my house very, very small, because this is my sanctuary. This is my home, And the people that are here, I want in my life. If you've been invited in my home, then I want you in my life. I need you in my life. There's something about it to where, I want to spend time with you. I want to get to know you. Sit on the deck and grill, or we just sit and talk, or we play cards, or whatever it is. That's the reason that I want you in my life. And that's what I would say take away from it, because I'm investing my time that is limited on this earth in you. I mean, it's basically, I'm giving you the most precious commodity that I have, and that's my time, because I can't get any more. It's not like I can go to the bank, or I can go to a department store or something like that and buy more time and say, okay, well, I want to live another 5 years, so can I get pick up a little gift card for 5 years worth of life and pay for it, and I get 5? Then it wouldn't be that big of a deal. But unfortunately, in this world, in this life, that can't happen. I can't go to the bank and take out a loan for 5 more years or 1 more year of life. It doesn't work that way. So I figure if I'm inviting you into my life and I want you in my life, then I'm giving you the most precious commodity that I own, and that's my time. And that's not being narcissistic. That's just being realistic and saying, okay, if I want you in my life, that means I want you around. I want to get to know you. I want to spend time with you. And to me, that's probably the thing that I've had the hardest time learning through my life so far. And that, like I said, didn't hit me until I realized there's more time behind me than there is ahead of me anymore. So then I just had to start being, when you're 18, the passage of time doesn't exist. You just don't notice it. And I didn't notice it at my age either. I thought 18, somebody would tell me, oh, I'm 31. I thought, my goodness sakes, they are so old. And then I got to 31 and I go, wow, what was I thinking? That's just the way it is. So just always stay positive. Find the good people in your life. It takes time, takes a little bit of work. And make sure you cut out the narcissist and the negative folks out of your life. And so you can enjoy it. You deserve it. That's exactly what we're on this earth for. So that way you can either go shopping together, go for a drive together, play cards, sit on the deck, whatever it is, so you can spend time with that person, so you can enjoy your life. Remember, we only get one run at this life. So it's tough to establish those boundaries. It's tough to push that negativity out of your life. But in the end, I've learned it's worth it. It doesn't matter whether it's family, whether it's friends, whether it's enemies, whatever negativity that you need to cut out of your life. That's just what you have to do. It's not easy. It's not fun. It's kind of like, basically when in management, when you have to fire somebody. That is the most horrible thing I've ever had to do in my entire life. I absolutely hate it, and that's why I don't want to go back into management anymore, because I don't want to fire anybody anymore, because there's such huge repercussions of doing that. And granted, most of the time it's the employee's fault, but I still didn't like doing it, because you don't just affect them, you affect their families and their friends and everything else, and I just hated doing it. So that was the biggest reason I really don't want to go back into management anymore. I just want to work with people. I want to get to know them, talk to them, have fun, enjoy the time together. That's what I'm trying to do, and that's what this whole episode is all about, is just learning how to set those boundaries and be the best person that you can be, and while still being there for everybody, but just learning not to be taken advantage of. And that's so hard to do. It is so very, very difficult. So I'm hoping that's what you took away from this podcast. That's all I can hope for. But I'm noticing by the time on my monitor and stuff here that I'm pretty well out of time for this podcast. Went a little bit faster, and so far I covered about half a page on my notes, and I had 8 more pages to go. So I guess I'll just move those to another episode. I didn't do very well. I kind of got down to the weeds, and I kind of squirreled, and off I went. And I don't know. I guess that's just the way the podcast is supposed to turn out. So I want to say thank you so very much there for tuning into my podcast. You guys are absolutely amazing. Remember, you got this. I believe in you, and I know with all the positive vibes, you're going to get through the day. It's going to be a great day for you. It's going to be a great week for you. Just keep looking at the positive side of everything. And then when you get a minute, make sure you like, you share, you comment on the pages. Make sure you continue to send me emails about what you do like, just different thoughts, anything like that there. It's wonderful. Positive comments, because that's what all of this is all about being positive. So try to keep everything on the positive side if you can. I understand there's going to be some, you might have a negative moment or a concern. Well, just email that to me and don't put it on the social platforms, and I'll do my very best to answer you and see if I can correct the problem. But just tell everybody that's all I can ask for, so we can help as many people as we absolutely can. That's why I'm doing this. So by liking and sharing and whatever platform you're listening to, put something positive on there, I would really, really appreciate it. So, ending the podcast there today, and looky, oh my goodness, you thought you were going to get away with this, but nope, there's another dad joke of the day there to end the series here, and I just thought this would be a fantastic way, and I think this is a really, really funny one. I enjoyed the heck out of this one here. So, to end the podcast for today, here's the dad joke of the day. Do you know how a penguin builds his house? He glues it together. I know you're groaning. I see the eyes rolling and everything else there. That's why I do the dad jokes of the day. Thank you so very much there for tuning in. You guys are simply amazing. I absolutely love talking with you guys. Thank you for your comments. Thanks for sharing. And as always, all my love and support